So, hello, this is the Edible Valley podcast. We've been away from the airwaves for a few weeks now, and we are going to tell you in just a few seconds exactly what we've been doing. And, bums on the edge of seats, it's not going to end well. But for now, my name is William Stringer.
I'm Chef Jonathan Frazier, and today we're talking about spring vegetables, foraging, inspired recipes from the spring, and just getting into the joys of spring on in the way. Welcome to the Edible Valley podcast.
We want to invite you as we embark on a culinary journey through the heart of Vancouver Island.
From the fertile fields
to the pristine waters of the Pacific Ocean.
We'll explore the stories behind the food that nourishes us.
Tune in to each episode as we deep dive into the flavors, the traditions, and the innovations that make this a true paradise.
Now please join us as we explore our Edible Valley.
And hello, welcome to the Edible Valley podcast. We used to do episode numbers. What number are we now?
I ran out of fingers and toes because we've got
a lot.
I stopped telling you
make a joke then,
just because you would always ramble off the wrong number, and then I'd have to redo it all in editing.
That's exactly what happened. Okay, well, we're going to dive straight in. We've got a lot to talk about in terms of spring. Now, spring is a wonderful time of year. It is the time of new beginnings, of good things, of bright sunshine and the warm weather, and it's just, honestly, it's a great time of year. But first, we're going to quickly talk about something which is the antithesis of all of that. We've got some disappointing news.
What's that?
Well, what have you been going on about for the last 20 minutes?
20 minutes? Well, it's not disappointing news. It's just
I just gave you that run-up. I just gave you a fantastic run-up. Anyway, go on.
No. One thing is we've been working towards for a while of going video. So
yeah.
our podcasts are now up on YouTube, and you can watch myself and Will awkwardly look at each other for half an hour or so.
Yeah. A lot of our communication is in the eyes.
Exactly, between each other, which the camera's over there, so this will make it a little bit weirder. Anyway, so our whole premise is to work on this video, and we've been trying to build and build and build. Anyways, we've applied for some grants. That hasn't worked out for us, but we're hoping to one day really, really break free and get loose and have a bunch of cameras so we can have some B-roll and do a whole bunch of fun things and show off. I have this dream of doing a tour of the Edible Valley where we go in, we talk to the farmers, and we sit down there and we talk about the farmers, and then we go to the seafood producers and the oyster shuckers and all of those people, and we talk to them, and then we go over and we talk to some of the bakers that are doing some of the amazing pastries and breads in this area, and then we go and talk to the schools and the universities and the colleges and find out what the cooking programs are in our community. And I've got other places I want to go to. Oh, right, restaurants. We have so many beautiful restaurants that I want to pop in and talk to the chefs and actually introduce you so you can actually see who they are. So this is all going to take money and time and effort. And so that's something we're working on here now. So we're hoping something heads our way. And if anyone wants to help and support us, we're always looking for a little bit of hand.
Absolutely. And a couple of weeks it took, particularly for one application. And, I think anyone listening can understand that disappointment when you put your heart and soul into something and it doesn't work. But that's life. That was always meant to be. We're going to move on. But John, hats off to you for all the hard work you put into that. That's and we continue. We pick ourselves up and we continue, and we do it for this wonderful Edible Valley.
Why? And it's just about sharing food and talking about. It's easy to do because it's easy to talk about something you love. Yeah. And there's nothing I love more than this community and the food. And especially we're talking about food and spring because thank God. The weather has come out. The sun is shining. I know there's fear of not enough water, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Because we have all these amazing vegetables popping out of the ground, and it's time to start cooking. It's time to let's try and loosen up and shed a few pounds and get into some really enjoyable stuff. So I thought I would just bring out a list, see if I can get people really energized about some foods. And then, William, you can tell me how you feel about eating these foods.
Talk to me.
So I wanted to throw out asparagus, right? Start with the A's, right? Love asparagus, right? Nutrient rich, high in fiber. Super versatile vegetable. It's great for grilling, roasting, sautéing. Contains antioxidants, and it's believed to have anti-inflammatory properties.
It's one of those. It's like the blueberry of vegetables. Bloody good, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, this time of year, I think asparagus is like the daffodil of vegetables. Mm-hmm.
It's that first
the analogies all over the shop.
Pops out at the beginning of the year, and then of course you've got green and white asparagus, and the big difference is that the white asparagus is more of a European thing where they pack it in straw. So the asparagus tips grow up through the straw so they don't get the sun, so they don't turn green. Oh, wow. And it keeps them a little bit more tender than, say, the green ones because they build a little bit more fiber with the chlorophyll in the vegetable.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Right, what's your next
favorite?
one,
I wanted to talk about peas, and there's so many different peas. So we got snap peas, snow peas, English peas. So they're sweet, tender legumes, and they're packed full of vitamins and minerals, right?
They're so underrated, peas are.
And they're so
underrated.
So easy to work with. They can be eaten raw, cooked lightly to retain their crispness, provide a great source of protein and dietary fiber.
Did you say retain their Christmas?
They're crisped. Christmas. Just the snow peas.
Yep. I'll tell you what, I'm sold on them retaining their Christmas.
Yeah, and I find like peas are so good whether you throw them in a salad.
Yeah.
I'm doing them on pasta. If you do I love doing like a nice spicy pasta that I'll do like with a blackening spice or something with a bit of cream in it. And then I'll just julienne up some peas and just throw them right on top. And so you get that little bit of crisp and it adds a little bit of moisture. It's a beautiful thing. At least for me it is.
Blackening spice. What would you use that for?
Blackening fish, blackening chicken, blackening everything, just to give it a little bit of that char and a little bit of heat.
And you can buy that in any store.
You can buy that any store, or you can make your own. It's really easy, just like some paprika, some chili flakes. Throw your favorite herbs in there.
That's it.
There's lots of recipes
Job
out
done.
there. Sounds like maybe I have to come up with a blackening spice. Maybe we'll do an episode on blackening.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, let's move along. Radishes.
Oh, yeah.
Crunchy root vegetable with that peppery flavor.
Yeah.
Adds a pop of color and texture to a salad. And it's rich in antioxidants and vitamin C.
Nice. And you know what? Very simple recipe. It's not even a recipe, really. I mean, how few ingredients to make a recipe. Salt and butter. Just dab it in a little bit of butter. Dab the butter in salt. Job done.
Oh,
absolutely gorgeous.
I love radishes. Just taking them on the mandolin. Just doing them super paper thin. Yeah. Shaving them off. And then just sprinkling them on top of your salad or putting them on top of tuna with a little soy glaze.
Yeah.
Ah, beautiful.
A little bit of a crunch, a little bit of pepper.
And then, of course, let's get on to spinach because spinach is starting to pop out right now. What can't you say about spinach?
It's so versatile.
Look at Popeye.
Yeah.
Well, where would he be without that, right?
Yeah.
No olive oil.
I've been eating what most medical professionals would say is an unnatural amount of spinach. And I actually did have to Google, can you eat too much spinach? And you can. Because with the Popeyes salad mix that I chuck in my smoothie every day.
Oh, okay.
I mean, to go off the rail a little bit, it's $10 for like, what, a 3-pound bag. Mm-hmm. But then $5 for like a tiny bag. So you're always going to buy the big one, but you have to eat it.
You got to eat it. Well, you got to get the local stuff too, right? Because now it's coming out.
I advocate that 100%.
Hit in the farmer's market, right? It's a nutrients-dense leafy green packed with iron, vitamin, and minerals. So people who have iron problem, it's a great way to get iron into. Yeah, and it's super versatile. As you said, smoothies, salads, soups, sautéing. Throw it into. I love just throwing it in a pasta. Just to give a little bit extra color and a little flair to that right at the last minute. So it just wilts. Yeah, excellent.
Spinach dip. Oh my God, so fresh.
Spanica pitas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to lettuce and salad greens because we've talked about spinach, but salad greens are coming up here. So we got like romaine, arugula, all of those kind of greens are starting to pop up. They're usually the first ones to come out, and they're nice and loose leaf. You know, they're low in calories, high in water content, making them great to rehydrate you and refresh you. They're also provide lots of essential vitamins and minerals such as vitamin K. Right?
Yeah.
We got all these great vitamins in there.
Yeah.
Great one. Another one for beginning of the season, green onions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Or spring onions.
Spring onions, exactly. And springtime, right? So they got that mild onion flavor, commonly used as a garnish or like as an ingredient within in a lot of dishes. You know, they add a pop of color. If you cut them on the bias, they just look gorgeous. You can just stack them on top of a salad, on a soup, stir fry, any of that. And it's really rich in vitamin C and antioxidants. So there's another good one to get in there. And you know what? It's just great to have a little bit, just keep them in there and just keeping adding it to everything as you go. Another one around here I want to talk about is carrots, because there's nothing better than the first carrots of the year. Those little baby carrots. Oh, sweet,
so
crunchy. And you know, remember that carrots aren't just orange. There's lots of other colors out there, purple, yellow, white. Get those heritage ones. They have a lot of flavor and they're just so versatile. And what can't you use carrots in, right? Salad, soup, stir fries. You just add it to the mix. Your mirepoix, it's your base behind everything.
Nice.
So I wanted to get a little more sweeter now. And I always feel it's super underrated, but I love it so much. Rhubarb.
Oh, not underrated at all.
Right? Like it is such a tart vegetable, but it just offers so much.
Yeah.
So
Who would
much
have thought
goodness.
it as well?
Yeah.
You know,
Like make sure you cut those leaves and get them as far away as
Yeah.
possible. Get the bottom stalks there. Whether you cook them off in a dessert or a jam or a jelly, it makes a beautiful sauce. You can serve it. I've done it with a lot of like savory dishes as well, like with chicken and stuff like that. I find it pairs really nice with, what was that? I have a rhubarb ginger coconut ice cream I used to do that.
Wow.
Beautiful. So anyways, this time of year, this is where it's sprouting up and it's at its key point. And it's one of those ones you can get it now and you can freeze it and save it.
Nice.
Right? Just get the stalks, roll them up nice and tight, get them in the freezer. And then when you go to make a crumble in the middle of the summer, throw that in with your fresh berries. You'll be a hero, right? What else have I got? Oh, fennel. Fennel is
very underrated, I'd say.
I mean, a lot of people don't know what fennel is.
Right.
I remember when I first came back to the Comox Valley after I did my stint of working in restaurants in Victoria and sending my aunt to the farmer's market to get me fennel for a salad I was making for a dinner. And no one knew what it was. And I was like, what? How do you not know what fennel is? And to me, fennel is honestly part of my mirepoix. So you got onions, carrots, celery. I love throwing fennel in there.
Nice.
Even a few parsnips or something like that. I just love that extra added base. And fennel it comes up early and it's great if you slice it super thin on a mandolin on a salad. Or you can cube it up and roast it or saute or grill it, right? It takes a little bit of char on it. It's just beautiful on so many things. I've used it on so many ingredients or so many recipes over the years. I just love it, whether it's a standalone on its own or just incorporated into something. So that's my list of vegetables. You can tell I'm a little excited about it.
Now you had to bring it down to just those because I mean there are many that you absolutely love.
There's going to be so much more. We're gonna another couple weeks from now we'll do another one with all these other interesting ingredients. But I wanted to talk about the importance of eating seasonal.
Yeah. I mean you can't emphasize this enough because you go out into any supermarket and there's stuff from Australia and Europe and and you think, you forget, is this in season or not? And it's immensely fresh. If you buy something from a store and it's gone off, the next day, that's because it was picked weeks ago, thousands of miles away. And you're going to get the opposite of that. You're going to taste it and you're going to go, oh my God, this is so good. And not only that, but it's going to last forever. You're going to be like, why isn't this thing going off?
Exactly.
Because it's local.
Local and beautiful. So I mean, there's so many benefits about doing seasonal. It's both healthy and it's extra flavor, and you just the freshness and the most nutritious, right? Like you have to realize the longer vegetables sit, the more nutrients the more flavor they lose. So if you can get it right off the farm,
Yeah.
as close as you possibly can, you're just providing your body with that much more good nutrients. So that's for me. Plus, let's look at environmental benefits, right? We can cut down our carbon footprint, which means little to me when I know I'm just going to get to taste really good food.
Yeah. Yeah, touche.
So that's it. And you know what? Supporting local is great, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing more. I actually went down last night and talked to the Comox Valley Farmers Market they had their AGM last night.
Okay.
So I went in there to do a little talk about the North Vancouver Island Chef Culinary Association. Almost messed that up. Culinary Association. Anyway, so I went down there just because we've partnered over the years, and for years and years we've been doing this. Anyway, so I just went in there and I was like, "Hi, I'm John. I'm the new president of the North Vancouver Island Chefs Association, and we wanted to thank you guys for all the great things you do, because without you, we wouldn't have a job, right? Without the food that you guys create." And I said, especially with this time of year coming up, I'm getting excited, right?
Yeah.
So I know everything's
That's
just starting
great.
to branch out there,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be moving outside with the farmers market really quickly. So yeah.
That's really exciting when they do that. That's gonna make it a real difference. And just for if life is about being happy and enjoying the moments, we've been making a conscious effort to be better and to go to these things more. And we take our little girl to the farmer's market, and having the farmers recognize who she is, remembering her from previous weeks, hand her little things and go, "There you go, Penelope, try this, try that." And I want her to remember that is what shopping for food is, not going into X superstore.
Well, this is the thing. This is going to be it's going to be that positive thing where she wants to go to it with you all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because you get food, you get treats, and it's just a good time. And you got to see everyone you don't know.
Positive associations.
Yeah.
Love it.
Now, I always like to say, if you don't get the chance to go to the farmer's market, there's lots of great opportunities. And we've done lots of podcasts on these, the CSAs. So getting a hold of your local farmer and getting them to set up a box for you. And this is a time of year to sign up for them. You're basically paying them so that they will provide you with vegetables all year round.
Yeah.
And they'll show up, you can come pick up a box from them, or they'll drop off a box at you, depending on how you set it up.
And it's paying for them to actually make this food, so they don't have to go to the bank. So it's just you and the farmer. It doesn't get much more natural than that.
There's no middleman. It's just you and the farmer, and you just get the best ingredients of all time.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to say, because we live in the Pacific Northwest, on one of the most beautiful islands in the world, we also have the luck of having lots of wild edibles.
Yes. Talk to me.
Talk to you. Springtime is one of my favorite times. I'm going to start off with a couple ones just to get people excited. Now, we're just getting past some or just getting into other ones here. But one of my favorite ones is nettles.
Okay. I mean, very, very underrated.
Yes.
I mean, we've started using nettles more and more, my family in England at least.
You
pick it like tea.
Yeah.
So you pick it from the top and only the first 5, I think it is, something like that. But it's picked like tea.
Oh.
In that sense.
Okay.
Because it's not, you can put a nettle in a salad, but you don't go from the bottom.
Well, also the thing is, once you heat nettles, it kills the poison, the stinging nettle of it. Because when I was a kid, when I lived on Hornby Island, but we had
you had to slip that in there.
I had to slip this in there. We had a well next to our cabin, which is one of the only wells on like there's not much water on Hornby, but we had this great little well.
Yeah.
Anyways, because there was so much water and stuff like that, and I didn't realize this when I was a kid, but that you could eat these, but we had this nettle field there. And so they would grow up to the same height as us as 5 or 6 year old kids. And so we would go with a stick and cut trails through the stinging nettle. And then once we had trails all through it, then began the game of tag, which you would run after a person and then push them into the net.
I love it.
And spend the rest of the day itching and scratching.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
It was a very brutal game. Now that I know that I could have picked all those nettles and made them into a beautiful into a tea,
Yeah.
a beautiful soup, like just by cooking those nettles, blanching them down. I've done them in risotto. I've done them so many different ways. Just so beautiful.
I've been stung many times by nettles in my life. There's a game in the UK, usually played on the way home from the pub, in the early hours of the morning, where you go to a hedge and you basically make bets. And the game is called Accept or Reject. And basically the premise is one of your mates is going to hurl you into the hedge.
Oh.
Now, hedges either accept you and you become part of the hedge. You are in the hedge.
Right.
Or it will reject you by basically like catapulting you out. And that's accept or reject. And either way, you're going to get stung by a rogue stinging nettle. Good times.
Nettles. So much fun. Not only good to eat, but entertaining at the same level.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about miner's lettuce, because that's popping up right now. And then, of course, I love these. Make sure you find the right ones, but fiddleheads are coming out right now. So they're beautiful. They're just the baby ferns as they're coming up. Yeah. There's a couple varieties, so you want to make sure you get the right one out there. And I'd say anything if you're going out there and you're doing foraging, make sure you take the time. And we're doing a podcast, so we really can't. I can talk about it for hours, but you need to see these things to know what you're picking properly, because there's nothing worse than picking the wrong thing. So anyways, fiddleheads out there this time of year, beautiful, delicate, very nice flavor. Saute in a little bit of butter. Serve with a steak or something really hearty. Oh, that's beautiful. What's another one? Mushroom time, right? Morels are popping up. If you know where there's a good fire or there's been a good fire, you usually can find some morels. So it might be a good thing with how our forests have been running lately. Chanterelles are coming out. But as I'm saying, make sure you study up, find out what ones are good and which ones are bad.
Very important.
Very important. What's another one out there? Wild berries. It's definitely wild berries, right? So I love this time of year salmon berries. Have you had a salmon berry?
I have, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they're...
You're going to have to throw some censor.
Yeah.
Also, it's a bit early, but huckleberries, and it's great for throwing on a salad right now. Great for doing whatever you want with there.
Yeah.
As well as making into like desserts and jams and keeping them going. So anyways, want to add about the potential risk, but there's nothing better than finding wild food just to get in there and really enjoy.
Watch out. If it's the color of a bee, don't eat it. But yeah, that's very true. Never has a truer word been spoken.
Yes, I try and keep we want our listeners to come back and share in other adventures with us. So, where did I want to get to here? Oh, I just want to throw out a couple quick spring cooking tips just to make life a little bit easier. One of my thing is blanching vegetables.
Okay.
Super easy tip here. So you want to keep that vibrant color and that crisp texture. Is get your nice pot of boiling water with a little salt in there. And then right beside it, you have an ice bath. So you take some ice and water, blanch your items in, like nettles as a perfect example. Throw them into your boiling water, take them out, and then drop them right away into the ice bath. So once they're just cooked in that boiling water, take them out and then shock them in the ice water.
What's that going to do?
What it does is it really traps the color.
Nice.
Right? So if you let it boil, you know how...
Yeah.
Vegetables go from that beautiful bright green to that mushy.
Water goes green.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to hit them and then hit them with the shocking coldness, which just sort of jams that chlorophyll back into the vegetable. And then when you go to reheat it, you can just gently reheat it really quickly. And then you're going to have that beautiful green color.
That is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah. My next one is like layering flavors, especially at salads this time of year, especially with you've got all your different lettuces. But take time and sort of add different flavors as you go along. So, you can throw some sweet berries in there, some strawberries, or even you can pickle. I love pickling rhubarb. That was one thing we didn't even talk about.
I've never even heard.
A little pickled rhubarb. So a little vinegar, sugar, and salt. Give it a nice little pickling. Oh, it's got a beautiful color to it.
Nice.
You can just layer that in and then throwing something like a tangy feta cheese or some toasted nuts into your salad just to give some layers and different textures to it. Definitely what else I want to talk about is cooking with lighter cooking methods. So really this time of year with a lot of the ingredients I'm talking about, using those really easy, light styles of cooking. So getting away from braising and slow cooking, but getting into steaming. So really quick shot of hot water, right? Just to really get that nice and crispy, sauteing lightly. So something really light flips, and then even going to grilling, right? Spring flavors are really delicate. So the more flavor you pour into it, or the more you add to it, the more you're going to lose, right?
Yeah.
So you want it to it really crisp and really, really, really nice. Yeah, avoid your heavy sauces. It's time to lighten up and just embrace the springness.
Nice.
Shed off a couple pounds that we put over the winter holidays.
Yeah.
And then I was going to talk about just herb infusing, right? So that is just taking some herbs and infusing them into giving that aromatics into your flavors, because herbs are just popping out of the ground right now. So really getting in there so you can make some herb infused oils, vinegars, or even like a simple syrup, like throw a sprig of rosemary into a simple syrup, right? And then use that for a cocktail or something like that. Or so many great ideas. Well, Will, we're getting up there on time, but I do have 3 quick recipes I wanted to babble off about. Or should we just save those and put those up online? We're going to put them up online, but I'm going to talk about an asparagus and pea risotto.
Okay, let's do one recipe.
We'll do it I'll just
Good
say.
idea.
So basically, we're just going to get some nice greens, like some shallots or something, saute them off with our nice arborio rice. Mix that in a little bit of oil, and then we're going to basically add our veggie stock really slowly, a teaspoon at a time, just to mix it up to make that risotto, cook it in nice and creamy. And then at the end, we're going to take our asparagus and peas and blanch them and then fold them into the risotto at the last time, right? So they've got that nice crisp color, and then the warm risotto is just going to warm them all the way through. So it's going to have that gorgeous green, and then finish it with some fresh Parmesan cheese, and you're going to be laughing. You're going to be a hero.
Sounds
delicious. And especially I'm talking spring vegetables right now, so getting some of your spring vegetables together, tossing your mixed greens, your spinach, arugula, if you can get some fresh berries in there, that's great. And then just layering it with like maybe a nice balsamic vinegar, light, with some olive oil, honey, and maybe throwing some feta cheese or something on there, right? I just thought, what a great way to enjoy the summer or spring and get ready for the summer, right? This nice light thing. And then I thought, let's talk about a rhubarb crisp, right? Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Super easy, right? We're just going to top up our rhubarb with some granulated, some nice sugar, toss it in some sugar, maybe throw some cinnamon, maybe some nutmeg or clove or something. All those flavors blend really well. And then combined in a separate bowl, some flour, some rolled oats, and some melted butter, maybe a little bit of sugar if you want to sweeten it up a bit. And then you're going to put that rhubarb right in a pan, put your crumble topping or your crisp topping right on top, and then just bake it in the oven. 350.
So really simple.
Golden and beautiful.
Really
so
simple
those are the 3 recipes I just want to spit out, but we're going to put them up on the website so you can check them out. And I've been working on a bunch of these things on our WordPress site. So it's the Edible Valley at WordPress.com. So I've been putting up a whole bunch of facts just about spring vegetables and what spring vegetables we have out there. And I'll put the recipes up there for sure. So if you're interested,
Cheers, John.
And yeah, that's sort of where I'm going. And I would love to hear from any of our listeners out there. First of all, I'd love to know what your favorite spring vegetables are and what you want to be using for spring vegetables at this moment, right? And any secret recipes you might have of.
I want to hear as well, actually, because it's such a great time of year in terms of potential with the fresh ingredients. There are so many ideas out there, far more than we can possibly mention.
Oh, exactly. So anyone wants to share with us, we're totally interested. We'd love to read. We'd love to comment back and bring up a little bit of communication between everyone. I had one last thing I wanted to talk about, Will.
Talk to me.
Because you're like, you have to be positive about everything. And that's what I'm working on. But why get creative in the kitchen and experiment with new flavors? Why do we do that? I've got some great reasons.
I mean, for me, it's because I have to, because otherwise I just add mayonnaise and cheese to everything, which is the alternative.
Williams,
you get very fat.
It's just expanding your culinary horizon, right? Like it's a time to experiment, try new recipes, ingredients, and just like get out there and just find new ways to experiment with food. Yeah. Some things aren't going to work. That's why it's good to have a dog sometimes, right?
Yeah. As far as they're concerned, it will work.
Yeah. And definitely like seasonal varieties, like really embrace your seasons. Get out there, get creative in the kitchen. Yeah. Go out and find out what's popping out. Like I know I was in my garden, which you've sold my house now, Will. Thank you. You're welcome. But my kale is going nuts out there right now. Like it's all just beautiful, and it's actually starting to crown. So it's kind of like a broccoli stalks at the end.
Well, I didn't write it in the contract, so you can. That's yours.
Don't worry, I've been getting those, and I've been sautéing those, nice. And it's just got like that broccoli brassica, beautiful flavor to that, just with a little salt and pepper. Anyways, one thing I've been playing with, but definitely embracing those things that are around you. And I mean, this is what I'm getting. It's just personal satisfaction of being able to find new flavors, new techniques, and rewarding yourself in what you do.
Yeah, 100% touche.
And my fourth one is culinary exploration. We're just encouraging everyone to get out there and try food and really inspire yourself.
Try different things.
Try different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Well, that's another episode we do not know of the Edible Valley podcast.
101,052,052.
Oh, excellent.
No,
excellent.
We're not even that close. But we still we've got a couple things on the go too, right? We're gonna talk to someone about some cocktails or mocktails. Finally.
Yeah, we've got Colin from the Atlas.
Oh yeah, so you've said his name, so he better be here next week.
Yeah. He's going to talk, and then we've got a return of JP. He was last with us at the pandemic, and he's going to talk about cocktails. Colin's going to be mocktails the next 2 weeks.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I got a good connection with a bunch of farmers at the AGM.
Nice.
Last night. Excellent. So I definitely sent out some feelers and said that I really would like to talk to you and do a bunch of things.
We need to get guests.
So I know, and I really I'm looking at checking out some goat farms, and there's just so much food out in this town that I just want to get out and talk to everyone.
Yeah. Well, that's going to happen. For now though, on this wet and relatively cold Wednesday evening, in the Comox Valley, British Columbia. This is William Stringer for the Edible Valley podcast.
And I'm Chef Jonathan Frazier, and we just want to encourage you to get out there and enjoy food.
And that wraps up another episode of the Edible Valley podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and a special thanks goes to the local businesses that help support our podcast. They make it possible for us to showcase your local food community. We'd love you to follow us on your preferred social media at Edible Valley, where you can check out our blog, find recipes and tips, behind the scenes, and of course keep a lookout for where we are going to turn up next in your Edible Valley.
Oh, you just start the camera from there.
Oh yeah.
Is this on? Is it recording?
It's all recorded. It's all up there.
All right.
We're all good to go.
Oh, I have to look good as well, which is
just
no easy thing at 5:30.
You just need to look good on this side of your face. I'm just hiding behind the microphone. It's all good. And this has been an Edible Valley production.
Yeah. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. Ready again?